Welcome to BW Businessworld. Today we are at BW Education's Leadership Summit and Top Education Brands Awards. And I have with me right now Mrs. Sudhakar Rao, who is the director of ICFAI Group. Mrs. Rao, thank you so much for joining me today. ICFAI is obviously a very large group. I can't even imagine what it's like to be handling and taking on that kind of responsibility. But in your own words, can you tell us a little bit about your organization and how your journey has been with it?
Oh, good morning and thank you. I am Sudhakar Rao. ICFAI is into education for over the last 37 years now, and therefore it's a large group. We have about 20 campuses across the country, and out of which significantly we have about 11 private universities across, and 9 ICFAI business schools, 8 ICFAI law schools, 7 ICFAI tech schools, so on and so forth. Overall, we focus on management education, engineering and technology education, law as a segment of education, architecture, liberal arts, so on and so forth. So, over the last 4 decades, we have been trying to focus on several important parameters. Out of that, the 3 are most important. That is innovation in the programs that we bring and the curriculum that we actually deliver. Second one is technology, using cutting edge technology in delivering the programs that we have already innovated. And the last one is the entrepreneurial mindset, whether students work for themselves or work for someone else, they should actually bear what is called entrepreneurial mindset, and that's a very important characteristic for our institution. So these are the 3 tenets on which ICFAI is built.
Yeah. You know, the education sphere is going through so many different transitions right now. So much new is happening, and people obviously have a lot of opinions about that. But I would like to ask you a little bit about what is your take on, say, foreign universities being introduced into India, or even the National Digital University being set up. As a ICFAI group, I imagine that you must be also involved in some of these changes happening.
At ICFAI, understanding what is best for the student has been the core of our practice more than philosophy, in the sense that if something is very good and it's available outside the country, we should go and get that, and we are quite open to that, and we welcome foreign universities and institutions setting up their shop in India, and it's most welcome. Students in India should get that opportunity and that option to study in some of the best institutions of the world when they come to India. So absolutely we are welcoming that with open arms. Second, level playing field and other discussions are of no use at this stage. I think if you want to take a big leap and transform higher education in this country, you need to welcome everyone, keep it open for all this. The competition is best options are available for the students, and best of the talent will be recognized in the process. Now, the next one is Government of India opening these things, according to me, is already late, and therefore by measure of any hesitation, if people respond to this, it's not okay. We need to actually go all out for it. Setting up of National Digital University, the second one, see, these measures are also late. According to me, this should have been set up already, and but this is also most welcome. Why? The world is moving more towards digital skills, handling people in the new age requirements, handling and building leaders for these new age requirements in the work for the future that we are dealing with. So therefore, digital university with a special focus on digital skills and digital requirements is a must, and it is already there in other countries, like even smaller countries like Malaysia. It's been given a big fillip and huge focus from government side and private participation. It's been there. Therefore, why we should not have it with our kind of size of population, with so much of heterogeneity? We need to also celebrate the skill part of it. Therefore, digital university will certainly be a step in the right direction for celebrating the skill aspect, which is now need to be in the forefront in our future. What we have traveled over the last 50 years is very different. What we have traveled in the last 2 decades is very different, and what we are going to travel in the next 5 years is going to be yet another new different thing. Therefore, in order to cater to these new requirements, we need to make such certain measures like this of opening up the higher education space, having a very strong entrenched presence into digital and digital skills through digital universities, and specific areas like metaverse is going to be a reality over a period of time. The skills that you have are undergoing very fast change. For example, as the year ended in 2022 and as the year began in 23, we are talking about ChatGPT 3, and ChatGPT 3 is going to be the master of all kinds of searches, and it's a big buzzword. So whatever skills you have you have built over a period of time are suddenly going to disappear and not going to be required anymore with the advent of new technologies like this. So every time you will have to focus on what skills to take up, who is responsible for that, and what is the duration of reskilling and upskilling. I think with these three parameters as the requirement, as a set of requirements, we should go for initiatives like digital university, foreign universities coming to India, and several other establishment activities to take a big leap on higher education space.
Absolutely, that was really well said. And you did mention that the what skills are going to be in demand is going to change over time. As an educational institute leader, how are you dealing with these changes that are happening? How do you stay ahead of them? How do you prepare your students to be flexible in the future?
Yes. What we do is we actually bring industry to the institute. It is a given that institutions and industry have a gap. That is, industry is a little ahead of the institutions always. And it is bound to happen because they are in the forefront of dealing with the technology, forefront of dealing with their customers, and therefore they will be a little ahead of the academia. So how do you play the catch up? The best way to play the catch up is to bring the industry into the institution and have greater participation in your dissemination of information, design of the curriculum, and also delivery of the curriculum. Across all these three parameters, if you involve them, you will have minimized that gap. As it is said, the best way to have a bright future is to create your future yourself. The best way to catch up with the industry is to have industry being part of your own curriculum delivery, design, and also development. I think that's what we do at ICFAI. At ICFAI, our delivery processes are completely enmeshed with industry stroke alumni, because we have a huge alumni base, and that alumni base, which is working with the industry, takes the lead in helping us revive our curriculum, design the new curriculum, and also identify new methods of developing it. For example, in dissemination, in terms of endearing the same thing for the students, as well as telling the students that this is what the future is about and we need to work together on that. So they take part ownership, but that's possible only because of the policy that we have, that the industry is a very integral part of it. It's not just lip service. By structure, we allow industry to be part of our processes and our lead activities.
Absolutely, industry is a very important part of that. Alumni basing, mentorship, those are all key parts. But so is faculty and faculty training. How do you sort of make sure that your faculty is always updated? Yourself included for that.
Yes. One is we have a faculty base which is a PhD in the new age theses and new age research areas. Second, we have professors of practice. A large number of them come from industry. When we recruit them, even if they are PhDs, if they had an experience in industry, we would prefer them. So therefore, you will that way reduce or minimize the gap between academia and industry on one hand, and also stay ahead with your one leg in future, or stay invested in future, as we say. So right kind of faculty and also industries, professors of practice, they together will make sure that we are moving forward in the right direction.
Absolutely. You already have people coming in who are very much aware of the changing era, and they always try to make sure that they're already up ahead of the curve. That's an excellent strategy. Now I must ask you, how does it feel to be a winner of our awards today?
This leadership summit is a great idea, and we have been part of BW's education activities over the several years in the past. My expectation from various leaders who come here is to delve into 70% of what they practice and talk about 30% of what they can preach, and not the reverse. In the panel discussions and in the conversations that we have, I think institutions should bring onto the table their practices and the do-how, not merely the know-how. I think extreme focus on do-how and discuss based on what they have done here will be more directional and more convincing for the members who are attending, and for their benefit, the do-how is going to be more useful than the know-how. Yes, know-how is available on Google. Do-how is not available anywhere. So when leaders from all these institutions are coming to discuss on the panels, they should focus, that's my expectation, on the do-how, on the practice that they've done, on variety of problems that the country is facing, how that particular institute is leading forward or leading the charge. I think if those leaders focus on the aspects which I mentioned, it will be very, very beneficial. I'm sure Leadership Summit is meant for that, and I hope to see such conversations happening today throughout.
No, you yourself also have many different dialogues going on. I hear about them all the time. But thank you for sharing that with us. My final question to you is, could you share, do you have a personal philosophy on education?
Yes.
Please share that.
It's a great question. The philosophy of my institution and personal philosophy. The philosophy of my institution is that education has to bring about measured result in simple language. In the sense, it has to be outcome based. It is not actually building you for today or tomorrow. It is building you for your lifetime, and it is a humble attempt to building the nation. And that's what is the philosophy of ICFAI as far as education is concerned. We want these youngsters to come in, they think very healthily, they be happy while they are studying, and they become very responsible when they go out and build the country and the society at large. That's about my institution and its philosophy on education. My personal philosophy is that we can't make any big change in this country, in this world, without a very strong and reformative education that you can bring about. I personally feel that we should keep on learning and learning and learning. It is not education, but it is learning. As a teacher, you learn. As a student, you learn. As a facilitator, you learn. As a professor, you learn. I think learning is the common thing. I think we need to keep on learning. And any person of any age, at any stage, if he or she is not learning, then there is a problem. We need to keep on exposing our mind to something that's newly available, refresh it, challenge ourselves, and if there is no challenge at any particular time, you are actually resigning into what is called the comfort zone, and that's where the end of learning begins. Human beings, including me, should be measured by the appetite for learning, and it starts with that and it ends with that, according to me. Rest all will fall in place.
Human beings should be measured by the appetite of learning. Thank you so much. That's definitely a food for thought. Thank you for sharing your thoughts with us today, and congratulations. And we're really glad to have you be part of our event.
My pleasure. I'm enjoying here.
Thank you.
Thanks.